Hey everyone, welcome back to another Godzilla Battleline video, and today I have been, wanting to make this video for a long time, and I'm finally getting around to it today, and it is King Caesar versus Mothra Leo, who you should pick and who you should be upgrading and why. I will be laying out some pros and cons for both King Caesar and Mothra Leo, as well as towards the end of the video, I'll be focusing on some of their stats at different levels. So for example, I'm going to be using a level 5 Mothra Leo and a level 20 King Caesar because their damage and their health are almost comparable, but not quite. So I know a lot of you Godzilla Battleline players who frequent the channel know the similarity between King Caesar and Mothra Leo, but for any newer players that might have stumbled across this video, or people who have yet to participate, I will explain. King Caesar and Mothra Leo are currently the only two units in the game that have a rushdown ability. There's an official name for this ability, I do not remember what it is, but I've been calling it rushdown and so is my Discord, so that's what it's just going to be. This ability is both units, King Caesar and Mothra Leo, have a great burst of speed and they charge towards the enemies. They'll hit the first unit on their path and they will do an insane amount of damage upon first contact. After that, they will slow down and go into their regular fighting animations before starting up into their rushdown again after a short period of time. So without further ado, let's jump right into it and start with King Caesar. Players can first obtain King Caesar upon hitting rank 26 in the arena. This is pretty easy to obtain and most people hit it on their first day on the job, in the arena, dishing out damage and so forth. King Caesar is a great unit for beginners and we're going to start with his pros. First off in the pros is King Caesar's cost. He costs 4 energy, which is reasonably low considering the price of a lot of meta pieces in the game. Godzilla Ultima is 6 energy, Godzilla 89 is 7, and Space Godzilla is 6 as well. So having a 4 cost unit that does a ton of damage on hit is a really big advantage. Next up, King Caesar is a 2-star unit, which makes him easy to level and easy to obtain. As long as you've hit rank 26 in the arena, or you are opening a ton of the 33% chance event maps, you can pull King Caesar from those. So as long as you are opening maps of any kind, you can pretty much guarantee that you will be seeing a ton of King Caesar pieces. For his last pro that I've written down in the list, it's the fact that King Caesar is primarily a ground unit, which means that he will not be bothered by flying units. King Ghidorah's coming your way, place King Caesar down. He's fast enough that he will run right under King Ghidorah and on to the next thing. He does not concern himself with flying units and he can run straight at the pre-evolution units or the enemy leader or what have you, an intercepting Gigan or whatever. He's going to run through right under the flying units and hit whoever's right in front of him on the ground. Now to start off the con section is something that was in the pro section. He's only a ground unit, so he's not going to be able to damage with his insane rushdown attack anything in the air. That's something to consider. I view it as a double-edged sword. He can run under them and straight to where he needs to go, but he's not going to be able to help you body block those units in the sky. That is probably the biggest con I have for King Caesar, and another con is that he's a single target attacker. The same will apply to Mothra Leo, but in general, single target attacking is pretty good, but when your damage is as low as King Caesar's base damage is, then it can be a hindrance. Next up is Mothra Leo. So Mothra Leo has a few things going for him. For one, he's a flying unit, which means he can hit all of the units, ground, aerial, facility, whatever. He's gonna hit it, and he's gonna do a ton of damage with his rushdown. And as for another pro, he's one of the fastest units in the game. Actually, that's not entirely true. He is the fastest unit in the game, as said by Toho in the blog announcing his introduction to Godzilla Battleline. His rushdown makes him so fast. King Caesar is fast, Mothra Leo is way faster than King Caesar, and he is hitting for a ton of damage. So his pros are he's flying and he's the fastest unit in the game. So now for the cons. Not necessarily a major con, but one I wanted to touch on is Mothra Leo is a 5 cost unit, and like I said before, 4 is pretty low, 5 is like a middle ground, 6 and above is kind of high. I'm not really considering normally 5 energy to be a con, however it does lose out to King Caesar's 4 energy cost, so for this purpose I am putting it as a con. Next up is Mothra Leo's low speed and damage post rushdown. So after that rushdown is expunged on a unit, Mothra Leo's DPS drops dramatically. He is such a slow attacker and a slow mover after that speed has been expunged, so that is definitely something to be aware of, because once he hits a target, he is just a sitting duck and ready to be taken down by anything in the air or with anti-air. And finally, in my opinion, one of the biggest cons is that he's a 4-star unit. There are a lot of 4-star units in the game. I think there's 9 at the moment, and that's not very good odds of being pulled. Even if you have a legendary map, that's still a 1 in 9 chance of you actually getting Mothra Leo, and if that's the unit that you want, those aren't amazing odds, and it's only going to get worse the more units that are added to the game. So big con in my opinion. 4 stars are very hard to level up unless you are a whale, of course. Alright, so now we are moving on to the stats for each character, and like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm using a level 5 Mothra Leo and a level 20 King Caesar. And I'm going to throw out a very important piece of information that I didn't realize until I was already deep into making this video, but that was brought to my attention by Brahma, who was helping me on the unit data table Google Doc, which will be linked down below, and everything that I'm about to tell you is found on that sheet, so if you want to take a look at it for yourself, go nuts, it's all right there. The piece of info I was given was that Mothra Leo's rush is 2 times his attack value, and King Caesar's is 3 times his base attack value, so that comes into huge consideration when talking about the stats and the values that these characters have, because once that rushdown is gone, you need to know how much damage you're going to be able to put out. So let's start with King Caesar. At level 20, King Caesar's rushdown ability is going to be doing 1,551 damage on contact. Now, to give you a rough idea of how much damage that's going to do, that's going to instantly kill in one hit a level 4 Godzilla 21, a level 18 Gigan, a level 13 Mothra Larva, and a level 17 Hedera. Not too many important units on that list, but I thought it was worth mentioning what units can be instant killed by him. Likewise, a level 5 Mothra Leo's rushdown is going to do 906 damage, and that is going to be able to kill a level 1 King Ghidorah, a level 2 Mothra or Batra Larva, a level 11 Megaguirus, a level 14 Bomber, a level 16 Rodan, or a level 18 Hedera flying form. So now, both units have pretty comparable damage at these levels. Which one is better? Well, I'm gonna have to say that King Caesar is better, and let me explain to you why you want to be upgrading him as opposed to Mothra Leo. Mothra Leo is a 4-star, and he suffers from the 4-star problem, which probably should be addressed by Toho soon. The 4 stars, the way they are designed, at levels 1 and 2, they're pretty weak, and at levels 3, 4, 5, and 6, they really begin to shine. This is in an effort for newer players to obtain pieces of them and actually have them be usable. But after level 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, their percent increase per level begins to drop, and Toho has said this publicly, and on the data table we have the math to prove it. The base damage of Mothra Leo does not increase very well, and neither does the rushdown damage. King Caesar at level 30 is going to be doing more rushdown damage than Mothra Leo at level 15. Even the King Caesars at level 20 that I used in this example will be doing more rushdown damage than Mothra Leo at level 15. Likewise, if you're looking for an aerial unit to put on your team and you're debating Mothra Leo, you could put on Rodan. Level 25 Rodan does roughly the same amount of damage as Mothra Leo's rush in less than 3 seconds, which is a really solid amount of damage in such a short amount of time. Plus, Rodan is only a 4 energy cost, which is 1 less than Mothra Leo. Mothra Leo is outclassed pretty much by every single flying unit. His rushdown is great, his speed is great, but once that is used up, he is a sitting duck. King Caesar is able to hold his own at pretty much any level of play as you progress. I'm not saying a level 2 King Caesar is going to be really great at rank 65 in the arena, but if you're using King Caesar from the beginning and you're gradually upgrading him, he's pretty good at every single level because he's great for taking on pre-evolutions, and his damage is only going to continue to go up and up and up. King Caesar is not going to suffer from the problems that Mothra Leo has because Mothra Leo has a 4-star and they get upgraded differently. Also, King Caesar is easier to obtain because he's only a silver ranked unit, so he's a 2-star. You're going to see way more King Caesars than you're going to see Mothra Leos, and at level 20 and more, he's going to begin outpacing Mothra Leos. So I think in the long run, King Caesar is the better option for newer players and for veteran players. If you have a very high ranked Mothra Leo, and I'm talking very high, like into the 20s, then he probably could be a suitable substitute. However, that's very unlikely for the majority of players, and even whales, to the extent I have never seen a Mothra Leo higher than rank 5. I don't know if there are any whales with a very high Mothra Leo, but I haven't seen one yet in game or in my Discord, and that's where all this information is coming from. So at the end of the day, King Caesar is better. While at lower levels, the two units are in a pretty tight race for who is better, and you could, in my opinion, use them interchangeably. A level 20 King Caesar is your better bet against units on the field than a Mothra Leo. You can always substitute a good flying unit like Rodan or Megaguirus instead of Mothra Leo, and if you really wanted to use Leo, you could throw him in your deck. But I just want you to know that the superior rush down attacker is King Caesar. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it was informative. If you have any questions on any of the numbers in this video, reach out to me on the Discord or take a look at the Google Doc down below. Shout out to Brahma for helping me with a ton of the information in this video. I could not have done it without you. I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye bye.